What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
There are a lot of summer movies, right? There are a lot of movies we could have done to celebrate Fourth of July. We could have picked Independence Day, of course, and you know, Born on the 4th of July. There's so many on the nose. But in my opinion, the quintessential summer movie is Jaws. And that's what we're here to talk about today. We made Marvin, bless his heart, watch Jaws. Was it the first time you watched it? Because I remember when we brought it up, you weren't really sure.
I honestly think it was the first time I watched it.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution.
Jaws, directed by the great Steven Spielberg, based off of Peter Benchley's book, starring Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss, the original trio. And Jaws is about a small town in Martha's Vineyard, I think, or it was filmed in Martha's Vineyard. In the movie, I think it actually takes place on Long Island. They never really get specific. It's Amityville, but
yes,
Amity Island.
Amity Island, yeah.
Amity Island.
In real life, Long Island, it's just Amityville is the place. So yeah, there's a shark that starts fucking feeding off the coast of this little island, and it's up to Sheriff Brody, a marine biologist, which is played by Richard Dreyfuss, Hooper, and Captain Quint, the shark hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Shaw, a legend in his own right.
They got a team up.
One of the last films he did, I think.
I believe you are correct. But they got to team up and fucking take out this shark. But it actually takes place on 4th of July weekend, and the mayor's a piece of shit, and he refuses to close the beaches, of course, leading to more shark attacks.
Without change, without passion, and without logic, it lives to kill.
The movie came out in 1975, and there was a lot of DIY type of filmmaking that was utilized during the course of production. But
they had to do some stuff on the fly when they made it.
Yep,
they had a little bit of production hell because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The shark kept breaking down and sinking, so a lot of the scenes that they wanted to film they couldn't. So we had some intricate camera work that Steven had to come up with on the fly to make some of those shots work.
Oh,
do you know the scene, Marvin, with the yellow barrels?
Yeah.
So basically, anytime you see the yellow barrel, so this movie is famous for its the production hell that it went through, and he was over budget and over time and all this stuff. So to keep production rolling, while the mechanical shark wasn't working, so anytime it wasn't working, they came up with the idea of the yellow barrels. So that's why that's in that movie. And then there's some stock footage of a shark attacking a cage. I don't know if you noticed that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
When Hooper's in the cage.
Yeah.
So that's why they had to use stock footage and stuff like that. But very famous. Another famous landmark achievement that this movie did was it invented the term blockbuster. So the summer blockbuster, this is the first one of its kind. And the reason they called it a blockbuster is because lines were literally around the block to see the movie.
That's crazy.
Yep. So coined the phrase. Now,
it was a very impactful film.
Very impactful.
I believe it.
My dad was a teenager when this movie came out, and he said literally people, and again, I grew up on Long Island. My parents grew up on Long Island. So it's a beach. We're all beach goers. I'm not. Fuck the beach. But he said once when this movie came out, people were actually literally afraid to go in the water at the beach.
I believe
afraid to go swimming or unnecessarily hunting down sharks to try and kill them.
Right.
You gotta get ahead of it. Let's go.
Yeah.
A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything.
When the first kid got bit, god damn, I didn't expect it to be a kid first. That was completely savage, I felt like. Overall, I felt the movie was a little slow and a little long for what it was. The mayor definitely was a stubborn, greedy piece of shit. I fucking hate that guy.
Yep.
It was pretty funny at moments. I didn't expect that. My favorite character is probably Brody. I love the dynamic between Brody and Hooper.
Yep.
I think the pacing prior to them actually hunting the shark was good, and then the shark hunt itself felt pretty long and drawn out. But I get that they couldn't just easily take out the shark since it would be kind of
Right.
anticlimactic. Overall, I think it was good, and I know it was probably amazing for the time when it originally dropped. I could definitely see myself just throwing this on the TV.
It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
Yeah, for the time, like getting the shark to look like so fucking real
Yeah.
and like all this stuff.
It didn't look that real.
I mean, not when it's like up close and in your face, but like
I'm sure back then when they were shooting on those lenses, but like when you rewatch it now in HD, like some of those scenes, you're like, oh, that shark looks terrible.
Yeah.
It doesn't break your immersion though. That's the thing.
It doesn't. I think
No,
the
it
looming
doesn't.
threat of the shark is really what was the
Yes.
scariest part. Like, I didn't even really have to see the shark the whole time. It was
Yeah,
like, oh,
that's-
man,
And
watch
that's
the fuck out.
why I love movies like this, is because and like I said, some of the production hell that they went to that caused them not to be able to show you the shark, like they had to do camera work, and that the score, the music while it was going, like that, the suspense of not knowing or not being able to see, like that's why people are afraid. And it's not going out in the ocean. People aren't afraid of the water.
Afraid of what you
They're
can't
afraid
see.
of what you can't see, what's in the water
Exactly.
that you can't see. And I think Spielberg nailed that, even though some of it wasn't intentional.
And that is so that's called theater of the mind.
Yep.
And it's something that John Carpenter also utilized famously in Halloween in 1978. You don't actually see Michael Myers very often, and in a lot of times Michael Myers is likened to the Great White in Jaws because you don't really see them that often. But it's always a looming threat and a presence that's there, and that threat, when the danger's really around, it's signaled to the audience by the music and the camera work and stuff like that. I could kind of agree that like the latter half of the movie drags a little bit when they're out in the ocean, but I would imagine that had a little bit to do with probably like the technical issues that they underwent, but also that's like the real character building moments of the movie for these three guys, right? So it's them getting to know each other and us getting to know them. And, they have to build that because like, obviously, Captain Quinn's death is more impactful because like you learned about his experience in the war and like losing all those guys to fucking tiger sharks.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie, I think.
When he dies?
Them no.
Oh, around the
them
table?
sitting around getting drunk.
Yeah.
And the levity of telling the stories of, oh, I got this scar. Oh, I got that scar.
Yeah, that was
she
great.
broke my heart. I got you all beat. And then, I ask, what's that? He's like, got a tattoo, got it removed. Oh, what does it say? Mother? Ha ha ha. It's like the USS Indianapolis. And then like the levity, just like you could hear a pin drop right there where they're like, okay, well. And he's like, you're on the Indianapolis, holy shit. And Brody's like, what was that? And then he goes into this like terrifying fucking story of like all these guys dying around him. But it was fucking phenomenal acting.
Marvin, let's hear. What was your favorite scene? Because there's a lot of like iconic ones.
Oh yeah, my favorite scene. I cheered when the two idiots died when they tried to catch the shark with the rickety ass pier. Sadly, they lived. But
the roast.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite scene.
Okay. I'm still a big fan of the scene where the boy gets attacked and killed. I can't think of his name. Kittner, the Kittner boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where
That
he's
was
out on the
fucking
raft,
savage, dude.
and there's
I did
that
not expect that.
there's
And
that
this,
shot of Brody getting his massage, and then
yeah,
like everything zooms in on him. That's a great shot, and also the intro of the movie's really really fucking good too.
it
Where
is.
she's swimming in her little
She's
leggies.
swimming, yeah, but
Well, that opening scene is pretty chilling. Like it
Yeah.
sets up the whole
it
movie.
is.
Like Jaws is a straight up horror
Like,
movie. I don't
she
think.
gets pulled
Yeah.
under and comes back up and does that quiver.
Oh yeah, and then she
It's
gets
oh,
like
shit,
fucking
yeah.
sucked under, and it's over.
Yep.
I don't think people give this movie enough credit for being an actual horror movie, though. Like, it is a horror movie. I mean, it's tagged here on IMDb as like an adventure thriller, but I think there's a lot of moments in this movie that are like pretty scary. I think, especially the ones like before you see the shark. Once like the reveal comes, which I think the first actual reveal of the shark is when it kills like the dude on the little rowboat. You guys need any help over there? And his shit gets capsized.
Yeah.
I think that's the first reveal, but it's a reveal that's very effective because like up until that point you don't see the shark, so you're basically putting your imagination on what it looks like. But then you see it,
You know
you're
how
like,
big it is.
oh
Yeah.
fuck.
Yep.
And then of course there's the iconic moment where hey, why don't you come on down and chump some of this shit, and the fucking thing comes out. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yep.
Oh my god, I didn't even make the connection. Bigger Boat was going to be the name of this podcast before we chose harsh language.
But I would call it a gritty horror. But again, there's so many tonal variations in this movie that I could see how it could get different classifications. Like I said, it's got levity, it's got drama, it's got suspense, it's got action, a little bit of romance. But it's got everything.
Smile, you son of a...
My closing thoughts are, I don't fuck with sharks. You will never catch me deep sea diving.
Okay.
R.I.P. Quint.
Yeah.
He fucked around in the wrong waters, sadly. But our boy Brody did clutch it up at the end.
He hit that shot. Yeah,
Love
yeah.
to see it. He won his gunfight.
Yep.
Also glad Hooper lived. That's my dog.
Yeah. I love this movie. It's great, Chief Brody, Quint, Hooper, they're all great characters. The only problems I really had is like Quint in the end when they're hunting the shark. Some of the reckless decisions he made, like bashing the radio with the baseball bats, like that seems a little bit excessive and unnecessary. Or when Hooper's like, you're gonna fucking blow the engine up, slow down a little bit, and he fucking ups the RPMs and the engine dies, and now they're stuck out there for good. It's like,
right.
It seems a little excessive. Like, are you trying to kill yourself, man? Like,
well,
but
I think so. When I was younger, obviously when you watch a movie when you're young, you miss a lot of like the nuances of it, and I think the radio scene is one of those when he smashes it. I could never really understand why, but now as an adult, I think it's probably because like he has like a vendetta against like just sharks.
The shark, yeah, because like, and I mean, I can kind of get that too, but
he's like, we're gonna do this or we're gonna die doing it.
Yeah, which, like I said, seems a little reckless and a little excessive, but I can kind of understand, based on the history that he has from what you find out about his character, it does make sense. Like he hates sharks, he hunts sharks, he wants to kill this shark, and he'll do it at all costs. But
I want to add a twist.
He also
to that.
like he does care about these characters. Like he thinks Hooper's a fucking rich prick, and he treats him like one.
Yeah.
But he also, like Brody, he has concern for these guys. Like, you tell me which rope to pull next time, and I'll tell you. Like so the fact that he's making some decisions is putting their lives in danger as well. It just seems like there's a couple things like kind of, but kind of not. I don't know.
I actually don't have any bones to pick with this movie, but I do want to actually add one theory. I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he wanted to die to the shark. I think he wanted to go out to the shark because he felt that he should have gone out with his roommates.
He had the whole "why did I live" remorse that a
buyer's
soldier
remorse
has coming back. Yeah, buyer's remorse. Which he did. I mean, I don't know if you really noticed, but when he's sliding down in the shark's mouth, he has a machete in his hand and he's fucking stabbing Jaws in the face.
Yeah.
So,
but I think my favorite scene, since we were talking about it, I know what my favorite scene is. It's the one where Hooper's like investigating the the corpse, and he's like, "This wasn't a boating accident. It wasn't a propeller, and
Yeah,
it
that was a
wasn't
good
Moby
one.
Dick.
That was a good one.
It was a shark."
Yeah.
That's a great moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic movie. On IMDb right now, 8.1. Very, very high for IMDb standards.
Yep.
I'm going a little bit higher. I'm giving this an 8.5. Marvin?
Ooh, I probably would give it a solid 8. I would give it the 8.
Woo! Let's
Yeah.
go.
I
Dusty?
give it an 8. Yep.
Okay. All
It's
right.
an 8.
Yeah, unanimous. I mean, you can't argue. It's fucking Jaws, dude. It's like, what
It's
are we
good.
talking about here? But yeah, that's it, folks. That's our thoughts on Jaws. Marvin got to add another notch to his belt of movies he should have saw a very long time ago. And the last thing I'll say is farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Yep.
From the best-selling novel, Jaws.
What's up, people? Dan here. Just to remind you that if you enjoyed the video, to please go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps us out, and it lets us know that we're doing an okay job. If you want to be notified for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra spicy, hit that little bell button down below. Give it a little tickle.